Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Welcome back to some more bite-sized business advice. I always want these episodes to be quick, actionable, and most importantly, disruptive. No shortage of that today. I am super pumped for this conversation. We're talking about numerology. I am not qualified to spell that word. I don't even know what that is, so I can't wait to dive in with our guest. And before we get there, why don't I bring her on? Coach Timi, welcome to Harmonious at Lunch. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Brandon. I'm really glad to be here. Thanks.
I'm excited. So we started talking before we were recording, and I'm just all over the place with this topic. I still have no idea what it is, but it's fascinating because you described me very, very well for knowing very little about me. So let's first ground ourselves. What is numerology?
Numerology was created by Pythagoras, who is a real person who lived 500 years before Christ was born. And he was actually kidnapped to Greece, loved being there, and was so intellectual and so powerful that he was like a human Greek god for them. He was a mathematician, and he could explain anything in life through math. And
Is
so
this, Pythagorean theorem, is that the guy?
That's the same guy. Same guy. Mm-hmm. Yep. We still know him today. And so numerology these days is kind of modernized and kind of simplified. But basically, it's the alphabet lining up with the numbers. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And then your birthday is all numbers anyway. And so what I realized about a little over 30 years ago was that you could use it to predict. You can use it to understand your purpose. And with your name, when you do your name, you can understand your destiny. So where are you headed? And I was one of these people that I wanted to know. I wanted a map. I wanted to know, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And later, when I got help with that, with numerology, I realized, yeah, no wonder I wanted to know, because I have a big destiny. So, it made sense to me.
That's awesome. I love that. And I want to apologize to any of you watching. I may have just thrown up a gang sign before when I tried to make a triangle with my hand. So my apologies for that. But no, shout out to Pythagorean theorem and fifth grade algebra.
That's right.
I'm curious, though. So you said numerology is about how numbers and letters line up. He was Greek, so we used the Greek alphabet originally, at least. How does that, has anything changed over the last 2,500 years, or does
I'm not qualified to answer that. We just use the good old American alphabet. And it's interesting because I get people from other countries sometimes who have Americanized names. And so we kind of, stay open-minded about that if your name is actually in an Asian language or a Middle Eastern language, and we've Americanized it with our alphabet, how does that work? And it usually works. It's kind of interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if someone has a very authentic name in their culture and then they come over and say their name is Jeff, it's obviously not their name.
No, it would be more of how do you translate your name? It'd be more
okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, I am still excited to unpack this. You're a leadership coach. You're in the business world. You are using this in business. So this is not just like some woo-woo conversation we're having out there.
Well, it isn't the first thing I talk about, because I am a leadership coach and I have corporations that hire me, and I have entrepreneurs that hire me that are spending good money. And so we go traditional at first, but as we go along, if they're saying, I wish I knew, how, why I'm here, or, oh, this just happened, what do I do, kind of a thing, then this is a great way to fall back on it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic, and I'm curious, that kind of hints at how you use it in the corporate world.
Yeah.
But for small business owners and entrepreneurs too, I think it's just something, it's another tool in the toolbox, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, where do you start with people with kind of unpacking numerology? So when you're helping them understand different things or just open different avenues, if you will, Where do you start?
Yeah. So one of the struggles that I see numerologists, entrepreneurs having is that they wonder if they're on the right track. Are they doing the right thing? Are they living their purpose? And so it's very easy to just take a birthday and go, well, this is what you should be doing on a daily basis. This is where you should focus. And then to take their name and say, and this is where you're headed. And then, I'm a leadership coach. So I work with gaps, what's the goal here and where are you right now and what's the gap? And I help people get focused on what they can do to close the gap for their destiny.
This is it's just,
and what it does, I've done this for a couple people that were really miserable, that were like, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this. And when we did the numbers, they went, you know what? You just proved to me I'm on the right track, and that I just need to stay focused and stay doing what I'm doing, and just, get through these hard times. And so it can be really soothing and reassuring. And then I've worked with people that are also in their 60s that are they've done it, and when you do their numbers for them, they go, oh my gosh, so all these decisions I made, all these things that I tried, I was on the right track. And it's like, you were totally on the right track. You nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the journey of entrepreneurship and business ownership it's a hard journey. It's a hard road, and it's definitely not for everybody. So I see where, people get burned out or they think they're on the wrong path because it is challenging, and there's nothing wrong with a challenge, obviously. But when people start to have those doubts, it's clear that something like this could definitely help them. So,
well, it refocuses them and it reassures them. And,
exactly.
and what I think it took me a long time to realize, I was really in the closet on numerology. I wasn't telling any clients. I had friends and family that were using me on the side. But I think that people are more spiritual than we realize, that they really do want to make a difference. And when you're in a job that's eating you alive, sometimes, it's hard to feel like you have a purpose, and that there's some spirituality to it. And what's interesting about it is your birthday are the challenges that you have. Your birthday are all the things that you're going to have to learn to be better at.
Unpack that for me. I'm curious. There's 365 days a year, so there's potentially 365 challenges or series of challenges.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll use my own. My birthday adds up to 36 points. So I've got December 1st, and then a year that adds up to 36 points. And that makes me a 9. So you take the 3 and the 6, and that makes a 9. And in most numerology, all the stuff that you can buy online, pretty much it reduces everything down to 1 digit, because numerology, commercial numerology, is 1 through 9. But I look at, if I'm a 9, where did that 9 come from? It came from the 3 and the 6. Well, a 6 means that my job, my challenges, and this is related to work, is I need to have jobs where I create foundations for others, because a 6 creates foundations. A 6 is the house you buy, the job, it could be a mom, it's a vibration of creating stability for someone else. And then a 3 is that I needed to learn to develop my communication skills and my creativity. And I was already communicative, and I was already creative. So with the communication, I learned conversational intelligence. I learned how to mediate. I learned how to do strategic planning. So I took it up a notch, because I needed to learn to be exceptional in the area of a 3. And the creativity, I actually have a certificate in creative problem solving.
Interesting.
And I draw, and I'm learning to draw this year, how to draw for business. So, I'm always kind of pushing the envelope on, what is a creative business person in a traditional workplace.
Yeah, I like that. So what are some of the challenges that come from your birthday? I'm curious.
Well, the fact that if I was already kind of a blah, blah, blah kind of person, what kind of communication did I need to develop? And it was that higher communication to resolve conflict, to do mediations, or to help people, to lead a group, to facilitate, or to maybe to decipher what's wrong, when there's problems with people, to be able to communicate and to say, hey, why don't we try this? Or, tell me what's really going on here. And the thing that's important about this is that ultimately it reduced to being a 9. So ultimately what would happen is people would say, oh, well, you're a 9, you're a humanitarian. And I would go like to little, what do you call them? Places to help the elderly, or go to a soup kitchen or something. And that wasn't feeding my soul. I wasn't walking away going, wow, that was awesome. I was like, I don't know, that doesn't feel right, because I'm a business humanitarian. I'm helping people. I'm mediating. I'm resolving conflicts. I'm running groups, right? I'm a different kind. So by doing the numerology this way with the double numbers, then the 3 and a 6 makes the 9. Then I can know where I put my energy. And, I think we talked about your birthday. You're a 1. And so what kind of 1 are you? You're a 2-8. 2 and 8 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. So your challenges have to do with leadership, with, taking the lead. And then the 2s have to do with creating balance and harmony, doing jobs, being in situations where you're creating harmony for others and justice for others. And that 1 that it reduces to means that you're a leader, you're the first person, you're a trailblazer, you're doing original things.
Yeah, and this is where in the beginning of the episode, I was like, you knew a lot about me by just knowing my birthday, and we have never met before this.
Nope.
And I'm always skeptical of this kind of stuff, because I'm always wondering, like, how much of it is true, and then how much of it does it pigeonhole you into a path. But that being said, everything you just said about me have been like the natural tendencies of my life.
Right. Natural tendencies. And it's a pattern, and it's a trend with you. And the thing that makes it true is that you resonated to it. I didn't tell you that's what you are. I said, this implies this is what these numbers mean. And you went, boy, you nailed me.
Yeah. I mean, look at the name of the show, right? Harmonious, harmony. Duh.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But the other one, the one that was interesting was the leadership makes complete sense. I've had numbers of people and personality assessment, all this stuff. It always says I'm a leader. Right. That's fine.
So what happens with the leadership thing, though, is that people who have not had it easy kind of go, I'm really bad at this, or, oh, I don't want this responsibility. And if it's there, you need to know that's what you need to get better at. That's your job. Your birthday is what you need to get better at.
Yeah. The one that struck me, though, is the one where you said fighting for the injustice. That's always been something that I just feel like it's like that underdog mentality, right? Like I want to fight for the little guy. That's where this show comes from. Like I want to empower small business owners. Our company, Whadif, is all about empowering small business owners. And I thought that was interesting when you said that, because I was like, that has been, if before anything else, the theme of my life in business, outside of business.
It's your passion. Yeah. So when I was in college, I was taking sociology and psychology classes, and there was a word called Weltschmerz, and Weltschmerz means world pain. And when we were studying it, I was sitting there in class going, that's me. I have world pain. Well, then I learned about numerology 10 years later, and I'm a 9. I'm a humanitarian. On my birthday, and for my name, my whole name is a 99, which is a world global humanitarian. So yes, I have world pain. Yes. And it resonated even in college. Yeah. And I was restless. I was very restless. And I was taking all these classes, self-development classes and stuff. And besides college, and I was like, I want a map. I want to know what I'm supposed to do. And they said, there's no map. And I started crying. I was very upset.
That's so funny. Not that you were crying, but that you found the map. And here
I created a map.
Here's where you are, right? I love that. So speaking of maps, I want to put your website, soulworkmaps.com, on the screen. Wherever you're watching or listening, it's also in the screen, so you can dive in more to this. But what you said, I think in the beginning, your name is your destiny. Is that what you said?
Destiny. It's where you're headed. It's
I'm
where
an
you're
open
headed.
book. If you're open to it, I would love to hear what my name is in numerology. And
That would
hopefully it
take me
doesn't
a bit.
spell bankrupt.
We should have done that before we got on, and then I could do it. It
Okay,
takes,
that's totally
but the way it works with your name, if any of you want to try this, is A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and it goes 9, and then you just start the alphabet over again and you layer it. So,
fine.
you know,
So it's not 1 through 26. It's
or
1 through 9 repeated.
1 through 9 repeated,
Okay.
yes, and then you can add it up.
And that number, the 2-digit number that you get, or I guess it could be a 3-digit number.
Yeah,
What do
it
you
could
do with
even
it then?
be. It could be 3 digits. There's more and more of that, by the way,
Yeah.
because of
What
the
do
way
you
the world is. Yeah.
What do you do with that number?
Then you reduce it. So, so let's just say it's 2 digits because that's the easiest to explain. So mine is a 99, and then that reduces to 18, and that reduces to 9. So people are going to say, "Oh, your destiny is a 9," but they're cheating me because it's a 99, 18, 9. So the 99 means it's a master number. Anytime you have two numbers together, it's a master number. And it means you have global responsibilities spiritually. All right. And that 9 and 9 reduces to 18. That was a huge, huge breakthrough for me. And it took me probably 20 of the last 30 years to understand this. That 18 puts me in being in charge of whatever the humanitarian effort is.
Interesting.
Because it's a 1, which
Yeah.
is the original, and it's an 8, which is leadership.
That's very cool.
So now you know why I didn't like going to convalescent hospitals and working in soup kitchens, because I wasn't in charge.
Exactly.
I need to be in charge.
That makes complete sense. So this is fascinating, wildly entertaining for me. I'm also a bit of a nerd, so that's
the
why I like
numbers,
it so much.
the numbers. Yeah. I want to say though, to the people that do add up your birthday, if you come out with an 11 and you're tempted to reduce it to a 2, it is a 2. 1 and 1 is 2. But if you're an 11, you're a spiritual light messenger, and you need to live that one. You don't need to live the life of a 2. Nothing wrong with being a 2 unless you're an 11 first.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good. That's interesting advice. I didn't think about that. But okay, so maybe we'll unpack my name after this recording. If we do, I'll put in the description, just because I'm curious to see what happens.
Sure.
But I want to wrap up with kind of tying this back to business, because it's interesting for everybody if you're in business or not. But for those people who kind of use this and leverage it, your clients in the business world, what kind of doors or possibilities do they open up? I'm just curious what happens when they understand this part of their life.
Well, work, entrepreneurialism, and even corporate life very can really rip your soul. I mean, it really can be harsh, and it takes courage. And so if you understand your purpose and you understand where you're headed, it lightens it for you. It makes it a mission, a quest, right? And everybody loves a quest. So it helps you focus. It gives you some technique, because with the numerology, I also combine 2 business assessments. And I use Strength Finders, which is Gallup, and I use the Fascination assessment, which is all about your brand. And it gives you an archetype. And with those 3 together, you have a map. You know who you are, where you're headed, how you'll get there, and the skills you'll use. And that's what a soul work map is. It's 3 different assessments. It's numerology and the 2 other business assessments.
That is cool. Always helpful to have a map in business, right? Especially a map of yourself.
Well, when you consider the pandemic and what it did to people and how disorienting it was, even if you were sick in bed during that period of time, if you know your birthday's numbers, you can still, like, I'm a communication creativity. Well, from bed, if I had gotten sick, I could have at least focused on how I treat people that are helping me. I could have maybe done something creative to lighten myself, or to improve myself. I could have stayed focused on that and still be on my path.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's super helpful. Timi, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much for coming and being a guest on Harmonious at Lunch.
You're welcome.
For those of you watching, listening, wherever you are, make sure you subscribe. The website's on the screen. It's in the descriptions. Go get your soul work map. Go check out Timi's website and dive in more. See what you get out of understanding your personal numerology. We will see you back on the next episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Always appreciate you listening. Make sure you subscribe, comment, do all those fun things. We'll see you next time.